So 20 people from the 100x devs cohort got into GSOC this year. As much as I would like to say that I had any part to play in it, I did not. In fact, I will clearly say I had zero part to play in any one of their journey. With that out of the way, we're going to discuss what organizations did they contribute to. We have 10 people from 10 different organizations, so it will give you a nice top level view of how can you target this organization next year. What was their primary tech stack before they got into GSOC? What is their primary tech stack right now? How many contributions did they make? How can you set up the projects locally? What was their best pull request that got them in? And some general alpha tips and tricks that might help you get in. TLDR is most of them were highly motivated, did a lot of hard work, but also did a lot of smart work when it comes to choosing the organization. With that context, let's get right into the video.
To Manipal Institute of Technology,
IIT Sindri,
at Delhi University,
in Manipal Jaipur,
RM College Chennai,
IIT Mandi,
IIT Warangal,
IIT Ranchi,
NIT Durgapur,
IIT Bechu.
had like 10 PRs in the next like 10-15 days. So like,
and that was ejected in Google Summer of Code.
In the college, no, I do not have any group, but yeah.
What else did you do differently? Were you building a lot of projects? What were you doing right in these 10 months?
This year, I was the only one getting into GSOC from NIT Warangal.
I was very consistent with attending the events in New Delhi that was happening. So I have made a lot of friends.
You should come on the channel and just explain everyone how can you set up Chromium on a machine.
So I had no seniors to look up to because only one or two seniors have done GSOC and they've also passed out.
Wrote my first line of HTML in August 2023.
So hey Satvik, would love to know your background and which college do you currently go to?
yeah, so I'm a third year studying BTech in data science, and I go to Manipal Institute of Technology. And yeah, that's just an introduction, and also it's like a pleasure to meet you.
Likewise, you're in the Manipal branch of Manipal, the main branch.
Yeah, the main branch.
Got it. And you mentioned bachelor's in data science. Is this like a new bachelor's?
Yeah, so there's only been one other batch of data science who were my seniors, and it's a new degree that essentially they've opened up multiple specializations in computer science itself, and data science was one of them.
Got it. Makes a lot of sense. What's your primary tech stack, and when did you start to code?
So actually, I started to code for the first time in my first year. But I've coded in school a little bit, all these HTML, all those subjects, and then eventually. But the first time I actually coded was in my first year, and I joined a robotics team that essentially participates in this competition hosted by NASA. And we built a rover, and it was essentially automating that rover. And my primary tech stack at that time was Python and C++, and we were only working on backend things mostly machine learning and robotics related things. And around I think December was when I first started with the cohort itself. As soon as I joined was when I started JavaScript for the first time ever. And that's for right now. I think I don't exactly have a tech stack per se, so I'd say I'm pretty comfortable with JavaScript, TypeScript, Python, and C++.
Got it. Makes a lot of sense. And you mentioned you're currently doing an internship. So you're doing GSOC as well as an internship. Is that the case?
Yeah, so I'm currently doing this other internship called Samsung Prism. So that's also a remote thing where it's part of our college. Essentially, a bunch of professors have Samsung has approached a bunch of professors, and they've essentially made a tie-up with a bunch of professors and a bunch of students, and we're working on a specific project related to tokenization of embeddings into of text embeddings into a vector database, and optimizing it for smart home devices. So that's another thing I'm working on as well.
Got it. So that sounds like a machine learning heavy project. What about your GSOC?
GSOC also is, I wouldn't say pretty heavily machine learning. It's so basically I'm working on a project called Tensor Map, and it's by the organization that I'm working for is C2SI. So while the name is new, I also found this out recently, but it's been the Score Labs, which has been here I think since a really long time, 10-15 years. They kind of changed their name to C2SI, and that's the organization that I've been contributing and working for. And the project that I'm working on is essentially a front end to build machine learning applications. So the front end is React, and the back end is Python using Flask, and it's essentially building all these models in the back end and building like a pretty visualization for making these models possible.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. When did you start contributing to GSOC?
So I contributed, I think, really, really late. I think I don't even know if you remember, but I think one of the at some cohort live stream, we I'd essentially sent a message saying, okay, the new organizations are out. I should start how do I pick these organizations? So I think the organizations came out on like 25th Feb or something. I'm not exactly sure, but my first and so the one of the I think the most important thing I did was shortlist the organizations properly. So, and then right after that, I think my first contribution to my organization was on 27th or 28th of February. But at the same time, I wouldn't recommend anyone to do this, because after that I sat for 10 days, and I think I changed about 10,000 lines of codes, and had 10 PRs in the next 10-15 days. So I'd say you have to start off early, do your research, go for an organization that's been there before and has a lot of projects.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. And so you mentioned were those most of them front end heavy, considering your project is front end heavy?
Not exactly. So it was Flask and React, right? So I think a lot of it was I'd say 50-50 itself. I also have to, as a part of the project as well, I had to Dockerize the application. And although the Dockerization part wasn't done in the cohort yet, I had worked on Dockerization because of my robotics thing, where we had to Dockerize for ARM, or a microprocessor. So that came in handy, and I that was also a portion of what I was contributing to as well.
Got it. So to summarize, you started at the very end, but you had extremely heavy contributions in front end, back end, as well as you found whatever low hanging fruit you could. For example, Dockerizing the app, and did that as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing. I would love to know, what do you think is the contribution of your open source contributions compared to your proposal that got you in?
Yeah, I think proposals aren't very important, in the sense that you just have to word them right and showcase your open source, whatever PRs that you have made. But I think PRs are definitely 95% of what is going to get you in.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. Amazing. That's all the questions I had.
I'm Parminder Singh from the Department of Mechanical Engineering. I'm a third year undergrad at BIT Sindri, and this year I have been a part of a program called Google Summer of Code in Open Chemistry, and I was the only one student who was selected in that organization.
Amazing. Share your story. You have an interesting one. You commented on my video. I remember that.
Yes, thank you. Actually, we have started. All started by your video, which you made for P5JS web editor. You was contributing to it, so I was thinking यार बहुत सही है ये तो मतलब सही चीज लग रहा है. Contribution तो matter करता है. So I started contributing there. Basically, I had 4 PRs open there, but the problem was the maintenance wasn't highly active there. So it was taking a lot of time to merge those PRs. So parallelly, I was looking for other organizations too. When I found a similar, मतलब एक ही organization में मेरे को दूसरी repo मिल गई थी जिसमें मतलब they were dealing with graphics. Actually, they were dealing with WebGL, graphics, a JavaScript API, and OpenGL, and a sort of JavaScript. It was really a overwhelming code base for me. It was very tough, actually, I would say. So I started reading that code base of 1 month. I took 1 month to understand the code base workflow of what they are doing actually. So after पूरा जब code base देखने के बाद, I thought कि let's contribute now, and I contributed there 5 months actually, and I had 13 to 14 PRs merged. Actually, all were good issues, not simple issues, but yes, कुछ मतलब अच्छे ही bugs और features add कर रहे थे. After doing so much, in 1 March, I think at 11:30 p.m. I got the results, and actually that organization wasn't selected by GSOC this year. So I tried a lot and slept at night. Next day when I woke up, I saw your video. You have prepared, you have a video that day, जिसमें मतलब आपने पूरा मतलब बताया था GSOC में कौन कौन सी organization select हुई है. So how you are what should be our next step if you have got the organizations. So I just commented on your video. आपने जो P5JS से बताया था वो तो और गया ही नहीं, and I had more than 2,000 lines of code out there. So it was basically a very bad moment for me. So after that, what I did was, it was basically my destiny or what, something I don't know. You made another video in which you highlighted my comment and you told about how a maker's mindset should be.
Here is a comment from my last video where it says, आपने जो P5 editor बताया था वो और गाई नहीं, बर्बाद कर दिया आपने. I had more than 2000 lines of code there. It basically means Processing is an organization that did not come to GSOC this year. And this person is a little sad about it on a YouTube comment. Surprisingly, the same thing happened in 2015. Processing was an organization which I was contributing to, and they did not come in GSOC this year. But rather than cribbing about it on the internet, I sort of picked up another organization and made it to GSOC that year. So what does that tell you? Have a maker mindset.
So I don't know, I think like related to your video, because you were also sharing the same story as back in 2015, what happened in processing, you were contributing to that organization and that was rejected in Google Summer of Code. So I just felt the same feeling, and you have did in the other organizations too. So it was my chance to become Harkirat 2.0. So I started shortlisting the organizations. I prepared a Google Doc in which I had written all the 1800 idea lists which came for GSOC this year. And after like rejecting those which I can't do, after 8 to 9 passes, I was left with only 3 idea lists. And I drafted 2 proposals on them, and I was selected for open chemistry this year.
Amazing. So pretty interesting journey. Did you contribute at all to open chemistry?
Actually, what I did was, first I prepared my proposal, and then the proposal was I have to do total 5 tasks. And in the total 1 task I have completed in my contribution only. But that PR wasn't merged, but I had 2 PRs basically of 150 lines and something like that.
Got it.
So
Makes sense.
that was the reason actually.
Makes sense. So you mentioned you contributed to P5JS editor and then to P5JS as well,
Yes.
which are both JavaScript heavy libraries. What was that the case with open chemistry as well?
So it was basically for like development part, it was C++ and C. And for the shaders language, which was written in OpenGL, was shaders actually, which was the same as P5JS were doing. The similar stuffs they were doing. So I think I was selected more over my past contributions too. So my profile mattered.
Got it. So you're saying all your P5JS contributions came in handy because both were doing graphics.
Yes, actually.
Makes a lot of sense. When did you start to code?
So to be honest, I started contributing at my second semester of when I came to my college. I was thinking for CAT and GATE, but at second semester, I totally focused on my coding because I thought this is the thing which I have to do. We have a lot of money in like software engineering field, and also you have to sit under the AC, work on the laptop, just a very king-like job. So I
Right.
thought.
Makes sense. So second semester is when you started to code, and you're currently in?
I'm in third year of my college. I'm basically 2021 to 2025 batch.
Got it. Makes a lot of sense. Is there any, if someone wants to start to learn about graphics, because the biggest problem with P5JS is even though it's written in JavaScript, what everyone knows, no one knows graphics at all. It's like very hard to dive into that code base. So how did you learn about computer graphics?
So actually what I did was, first I started looking at the code base. I wasn't aware of graphics at all, but since I was contributing to P5JS web editor, I was also making stuffs like I was also doing creative coding because the reference they were given बहुत अच्छे से उनका documented था. उसके बाद OpenGL I wasn't much clear, but the mentor was very supportive. He used to guide me at every path which I was stuck. So it was like moreover like help for me. Like it helped me a lot. Mentor helped me a lot.
Got it. So you learned on the job. You did not do any graphics. You didn't have college. College doesn't teach anything. Generally, also you do not refer to a book. You just तुम्हारे mentor ने तुम्हें help करते गए, तुम सीखते गए.
नहीं वो भी था, मतलब मैंने मैं डॉक्यूमेंटेशन भी पढ़ते जाता था, तो वो सब चीज से मेरे को आइडिया लगने लगा था कि क्या क्या करना है.
Got it.
तो
Makes sense. Is there any pull request of yours that you're proud of that you would like to show? कि हाँ इसकी वजह से मेरी शायद selection हो गई, या this was a big one that was hard to do.
Yes, I want to show a metalness feature which I have implemented in P5JS. A feature like if you have anything which you have like rendered in that P5JS web editor, if you like write a function called metalness, and if you like add a variable to it, it shows a full property of metalness, how it looks. It's basically working on the diffuse and specular lights. So
do you have that PR handy? by any chance? Are you currently on your laptop? Can you share screen?
Okay, just a second.
Yeah.
So actually, this was ball. So when you click drag the metalness feature, when you change it, it gets like a metalness kind of property.
Got it. That makes sense. So you added everything, not just the slider, like the actual code to
Yes,
make it
actual
metallic.
code.
Got it. That's super cool. Interesting. Did you have a peer group in your college? Is your college a tier 2 college?
No, it's a tier 3 college basically. So I am the only one who is selected for GSOC in my college too. So and before like 4 साल पहले किसका GSOC मतलब एक सीनियर का निकला था तो अभी मेरा निकला है.
Insane. तो जूनियर तो तुम्हें पकड़ के रखते होंगे एकदम कि भैया बताओ क्या
बहुत ज्यादा मतलब मैं गाइड भी करता हूँ जैसे मेरे को बहुत गाइडेंस मिला ओपन सोर्स कम्युनिटी इतनी अच्छी है भैया मतलब अगर जॉब मेरे को लेना तो ओपन सोर्स में ही अब लेना है ऐसा फील हो गया
Nice.
मतलब बहुत हेल्पफुल बहुत ही सपोर्टिव
Right on.
ये सब चीज
Makes sense. Cool. That's all the questions I had. So could you give me a brief introduction about yourself?
Yep. Hey, I am Satyam Soni, and I am 2 times Kubernetes release team member, CNCF ambassador. CNCF ambassadors are basically those folks who have significant and impactful contributions in the CNCF community. And apart from that, I am also a Cloud Native New Delhi organizer. Basically, this is a community of Cloud Native enthusiasts in New Delhi. And yep, that is all. And also a Google Summer of Code mentee at OpenSUSE.
Got it. And you're currently in college?
Yep, I am in 3rd year at Delhi University.
Got it. Very cool. So let's kick things off with when did you start to write code? What was the first code that you wrote, and what's your primary tech stack?
Okay, so back in 2021, I got admitted to college, but the first year was basically online, so I did not did much anything. And when I shifted to Delhi, then I started coding and all the things. The first code I wrote was in basically 2021 December. Uh, yeah, that was not pretty much good, but yes, I just got started with that.
Got it. And you mentioned you're a CNCF ambassador. So what's your primary stack then? Is it highly DevOps?
Yes, highly DevOps and Golang.
Got it. Makes a lot of sense. What's the organization that you got in?
OpenSUSE.
OpenSUSE. All right. So the next question is, when did you first hear about GSOC?
Okay, so when I was in 12th, so I was surfing your video. I think you earlier used to 5 years back. You used to run like something live for GSOC thing. So I do not remember quite properly like what was that thing, but there was something live, something coming on your channel. So I heard about the from there only, and then you also had a video like how to select the organization, and I went to the I saw your video and I went to the Google Summer of Code. At that time, that was everything was very overwhelming for me. Like, what is this organization? What is the Google Summer of Code and all? So yeah, that is how it started. But I also applied for last year, but the organization did not get quite slots. So the organization get only one slot, and my project was not selected by Google, so I was rejected last time.
Got it. Makes a lot of sense. And your current organization, could you give me a brief of what it does?
OpenSUSE is basically a Linux distribution. It provides the Linux distribution to the community and the folks.
Got it. Makes sense. Did you contribute at all to this organization before you got in?
Yes, in terms of code contributions, like nothing like that. But I have a pretty good story to share with you. Like, well, I went to an event. I was a speaker there, and I met one of a guy whose name is Chris, and he was earlier mentee at OpenSUSE in Metro, and like he was saying. Okay, so I have done Google Summer of Code this year 2023, and I asked him like, how did you how did you get into Google Summer of Code? Like, what was the secret thing that you did? So he told me that okay, you go to meetings and attend the meetings. He also got me introduced to the OpenSUSE community. I went to and the thing is that OpenSUSE community has the bi-weekly meetings. Every week you have 2 meetings, and I was consistent with all the meetings, and I got introduced to the mentors, and like whatever the task they were providing me, I was quite good with delivering in the dedicated time, and I also wrote like they have provided me things to set up on my local computer. So I not only said set it up in my computer. I also wrote a blog about it and made a YouTube video out of it and shared with them. So they liked my idea and they liked the thing. So this was the thing. In 6 months, I was consistent in every meeting. Hardly I missed one or two meetings, but apart from that, I was attending all the meetings.
Got it. And you had zero incentive. You weren't getting paid. This was all open source contributions. You were
No.
Very cool. What else was asking? So you mentioned it's a Linux distribution. So could you share a bit about what your project is? What are you doing?
Okay. So my project is basically I have to build a sample machine learning framework that is credit decisioning. That I have chosen. Like there are multiple verticals. You can choose the agriculture vertical, finance vertical. So I have chosen the finance vertical, and I will be building a sample credit decisioning app, which will basically be streamlining the customer's lending journey, and I will deploy it on Kubernetes using the container orchestration technology.
Got it. So you aren't writing too much low level code. You're creating an end user application
Yep.
for this company. Okay, got it. That makes sense. What's my question? How did you pick your organization? I'm assuming you just met the other mentee and then he just got you in, and that's how you picked.
Yes, this is basically like last time I got a lesson that I have to pick my organization very carefully. So earlier, before December 2023, I was thinking, okay, I have significant contribution in CNCF, and when the organization list will be announced by Google, so I will go and contribute to CNCF. I was more aligned to Kubernetes only because I have pretty good contributions there. So I thought वहाँ तो हो ही जाएगा. Okay, and उसके बाद and after that I met Chris and things turned around. I went to the open source community. I liked the vibe of my mentor and the thing they are supporting me. They are helping me learn and grow. My growth was exponential that time. So I thought of choosing this organization only.
Got it. Makes a lot of sense. So you mentioned you're from DU, which is it like a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3? Is there a tier at all?
I think even if you go and find the college on Google, I think you probably find it. So yeah, it say it tier 3, and I am also not from BTech degree.
Oh, so what's your degree then?
BSc.
Oh, interesting. So my question to you then is, do you have a peer group that you have in your college or otherwise that motivated you to?
No.
Oh.
In the college, no, I do not have any group. But yeah, I was very consistent with attending the events in New Delhi that was happening. So I have made a lot of friends in New Delhi, and also I run a community. Like there are 1,000 folks in my community of cloud native enthusiasts.
Got it. That is super cool. You mentioned you've contributed to Kubernetes in the past, right?
Yep.
Oh,
I am also the release team member.
Oh, wow. That is amazing. So if someone wants to contribute to Kubernetes, let's say, what's the process like? Could you give me a brief overview?
Okay, there are multiple ways to enter in Kubernetes because there are the Kubernetes code base is divided into multiple six special interest group. These are the folks that handle the multiple aspects of Kubernetes. So just go and pick whatever SIG you like and start contributing to it, and go and start attending meetings. What I did was I find SIG docs. Especially the document is something very easy to start with. So I got into SIG docs, and from there I started contributing, and then I met a lot of folks there. They have taught me personally or on Google Meet and Zoom Meet. So I just escalated my graph from there.
Got it. So the SIG that you were part of was the documentation.
Yep. Earlier I was the part of SIG documentation. Now I'm the part of SIG relays.
What is that? SIG relays?
Yeah.
Okay.
SIG release is basically the release part of Kubernetes thing. So there are two things: the release thing and the release engineering. So release engineering is more of coding, and SIG release is more of like keeping things on track and publishing it on time.
Got it. Hey Karan, could you give me a brief introduction? Which college? What do you like to do? Basic intro.
Yeah, so my name is Karan Palan. I'm in my fourth year in Manipal, Jaipur. I started coding around August of 2023. I'm exploring various like a Moon stack, like the Ethereum stack, machine learning, basically everything. I just explored it all and like started contributing to my organization in around December, and like, I got into GSOC, Sugar Labs. That's my organ.
Got it. So would love to know, you mentioned Sugar Labs. When did you first hear about Sugar Labs, and were you well versed with the tech stack? How difficult was it for you to contribute?
So Sugar Labs has basically two code bases. The first one is in pure HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So that was I done it around October itself. So I was very well versed with that code base. But my GSOC project is actually in React and TypeScript. So that I was comfortable after like I had done like some weeks in the code.
Got it.
Yeah.
So you mentioned two repositories, makes sense. How many contributions did you make before you got in?
I made like 6 to 7 contributions, and those were like the first ones were just like basic documentation and like helping the maintainers out with the project, and two good contributions.
Two good contributions, makes sense.
Yeah.
What's your project currently? What are you working on?
I'm basically Music Blocks is a visual programming language, so it is first implemented in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I have to like rewrite the whole code base of that visual blocks in React and TypeScript.
Got it. So you're
That is
converting.
my project for the summer.
Got it. So you're converting the HTML, CSS, JavaScript project over to React. Is that it?
Not quietly, but yeah, the functionality. Yeah.
The functionality. Okay, got it. That sounds like a pretty
Yeah.
big project to do in like the summer. So
Yeah, that is a big project. Yeah. It is a core part of the Music Blocks application.
got it. Got it. Makes sense. How many people got into Sugar Labs this year?
11 or 12, I guess.
Oh wow, that's a lot of people. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
that's a lot of yeah.
So you mentioned you're from Manipal, Jaipur. Is there an ecosystem of people there, developers? Are you an odd one out? Do you have a peer group?
Like majority people over there are focused on college and stuff. But like the group that I am in, like for one guy got into ICPC in his first year, like regionals. The other wrote a research paper. So like the group that I'm in, like actually are very well versed in coding. Yeah.
Got it. And how many people got into GSOC this year from Manipal, Jaipur?
3 or 4 people, as far as I know. Yeah.
Got it. Makes sense. And you
But there is no certain culture for it. There is no certain culture for open source in my college. It's just like,
how did you pick your organization?
so it was basically on the tech stack. I had like ever since I started to learn code, I had a aim in mind that I want to contribute to open source and like get into some program by the end of my first year, or like get an internship at least, because like I have not gotten into it, so I have to cover that by some things. So I started with web development, and I was just looking for projects. Like I was looking for projects since September, like and then I decided to learn. Like majority projects were using React and TypeScript, so then I enrolled in the cohort, and since then I learned for 15 weeks and I contributed and I got it.
Got
That
it.
was my framework for choosing organization, the
Got
tech
it.
stack.
Did you find any other organization where you contributing to more than one?
Yeah, I was contributing to GSOC. That is like it is just like Google Meet. It is a WebRTC platform. So like I remember the list, the day that GSOC organizations list came. I was awake till like 5 a.m. and I was like, I had selected 5 organizations and I was just like checking their code base and like trying to contribute like the first PR. Yeah, that is. I decided to then go on with Sugar Labs as my final organization.
Got it. Got it. That makes sense. When did you first start to write code? What's your coding background like?
Like I was from a state board school, so no coding background. I like wrote my first line of HTML in like August 2023. Like I bought 2 Udemy courses, yeah, and like bought 2 Udemy courses, one of Python, one of web development. Completed them by around November. Then I was like having trouble building like full stack project by my own. So then I joined the cohort. Then I did all the assignments, and like I remember like you saying in the cohort that if you know the MERN stack, like GSOC, that was the orientation class that you took. So like focus on that. So I was like having primary focus on that itself.
Started to code in August 2023, which is like
Yeah,
8 months ago.
like no 10 months ago.
And you had like, so that you either have really high IQ or are really hardworking. So,
No, like I used to consistently code for 4 to 5 hours at least a day.
oh wow.
Every course for 2 hours, and like continuously for 60 days I completed both the courses of Udemy, and then I hopped onto the course.
Got it. That's super interesting. So you're like you're an exception at the very least. I don't think a lot of people can. I did not learn this quickly. So would love to know. You mentioned 2 Udemy courses cohort. What else did you do differently? Were you building a lot of projects? What were you doing right in these 10 months?
Like when I actually started to code, the only focus was like some guy in my college had built its own portfolio website which was animated, and he had just started college. I was like, he can build so many stuff, so like why can't I? So I started coding using that way, and like then I explored very different things like Electron JS, if you might have heard of it, like a desktop application. So like I built a lot of, I explored different stacks, like what it takes to build games, like platform games, just exploring stuff and like genuinely being curious, stuff that helped.
Got it.
Yeah.
So, so you're currently in college, which I would assume you have some college load as well. Seems like you hit the gym. I could be
Yeah.
wrong. Plus,
Yeah.
you mentioned learning so fast. So, how are you allocating hours in your day? I would love to know that.
Yeah, so in my first semester, I actually had a very good routine. Like I used to hit the gym in the morning, then college, then like code for 4 to 5 hours, and then read a book an hour, and then sleep. But in the second semester, I attended a couple of hackathons, one in them. So like went to different cities. So in my second semester, it was very ad hoc. Like if I want to code for like I code for 8 hours, then I sleep at 4, then I wake up at 8, go to college, come back, sleep again. Like very now I'm trying to like uh, allocate 4 to 5 hours on a particular time slot. Like 8 to 12, I code for my GSOC project, and then I spend time on learning data structures and algorithms from like 4 to 8
Got it.
after. Yeah.
That is super interesting. What's your advice to someone who hasn't yet started to code, has all the motivation in the world now? How do they plan their next 10 months?
How do they plan the next 10 months? Yeah, that is a good question. Like first 4 months actually like try to focus on your fundamentals, like do data structures and algorithms. That is the one thing I did not do, and which is not a good thing. So like first focus on that. The next 2 months explore different stacks. Like you can be done with Merge stack in like 30 days itself if you like really explore it. Like not going to the depth, but like exploring it. So like explore different stacks, see what you like, and then like try to find open source projects that are like fit to your stack, and then like go deep into that stack and like contribute.
Got it. Makes sense.
Yeah.
And for you, that stack was MERN, and for you, that
Yeah,
organization.
that was one.
Got it. Are there other organizations that you've contributed to?
No, the like only Jitsi and like
Jitsi
Sugar
and
Labs.
Perfect. Cool, man. That's all the questions I had. So, could you give me a brief introduction about yourself, college, work experience, things like these?
Okay, so I'm currently studying SRM College Chennai, and I'm in my second year, going to be in third year next semester after the summer breaks. And work experiences, I just started coding my first semester. So I had made a Python bot. So we used to get this DSA assignments from a college. So I just automated the assignments using the Python bot using Selenium. So that's how I started to code. And after that, I had to host this bot somewhere, right? So I didn't know how to host the bot on the cloud. So I learned how to learn core web dev in my second year. I started to learn core web dev in second year.
Got it. Makes sense. And what organization did you finally take part in?
So I chose Neutralinojs organization. So basically, what it does is it just converts your website into a app, web app, like Electron, but better than Electron.
Oh, got it. Native application on
Yeah,
top of
for
it.
Windows or Mac or Linux.
So basically, what made you interested in this organization? What made you think कि हाँ यहाँ करूँगा तो हो जाएगा?
Okay, so when I searched to the organizations, I was targeting a organization that did not participate last year. So basically, I was not trying to do GSOC this year. Till February, I was just doing my web dev coding, and when the organization list came, I thought I should give it a try. So I looked to the organization that did not participate last year. So because I don't want to didn't want to compete with the folks which were contributing from very early on, because if the organization has been coming regularly, the folks like start contributing very early on. So I did not want to compete with them. So I found this organization Neutralinojs. I searched through the code base. It was written in CPP, so I didn't know how to understand CPP. But there were other repos like CLI and docs, and they had a like a front end package which was written in JS. So I could get my head around of like these repos. So I just started contributing to the CLI and to the documentations, and I made like a 3 to 4 PRs in the CLI and 3 to 4s in the docs, and I made 2 to 3 PRs in their templates, like small uh, PRs.
Got it. So it seems like the core product is in C++, which it should be
Yes,
for a
the backend.
the backend.
Yeah,
And your contributions were primarily, front end, full stack, CLI,
yeah,
whatever you could
CLI,
find.
yeah.
Got it. So was there a lot, how did you, so my question then is, how much do you think your contributions mattered compared to your proposal, or how well you know the maintainers?
Okay, so CLI is a like a major part of this project, because CLI uses the binaries made from the CPP to run the front end project. So CLI is basically the thing that is running the project. So that is a major thing, and I think the my project I'm targeting is to uh, dependence of CLI, and move it to the like make a file in Node.js, like a backend for the app, which we can control the life cycle of the app using that backend file. This is my project,
Mhm.
and I think. Sorry, what was the question again?
Question, even I forgot. But this is an interesting point. Could you share your project? What exactly is your project? What are you doing over the summer?
Okay, so the project is right now the app is controlled using the CLI,
Mhm.
right from starting of the app to closing of the app, right. The closing is controlled by the app, but the boot up is controlled by CLI. So what my project does is it allows developers to write the code in a Node.js file which controls the app. So CLI just runs the backend file, the Node.js file, and the file controls the lifecycle of the app from starting the app to closing the app to opening multiple windows. You can control all from the backend file instead of the CLI.
Got it. Makes sense. You're adding a fresh repository, which is in Node.js. Is that the case?
Yeah, I'm making a package
And
like a Node npm package.
makes a lot of sense. You mentioned you're in SRM college.
SRM Chennai.
SRM Chennai. Is that a good college, bad college? Everyone. Okay.
So I had no seniors to look up to, because like only 1 or 2 seniors have like done GSOC, and they've also passed out from the college, right? So I had no seniors to look up to, and I just looked through your videos to like get inspiration for the GSOC. So it's not that good of a. I should probably not say that.
Next question is, तुम कौन से year में हो? Third year.
I'm going to be in 13 next year,
Third year next year.
next semester.
So this is your only internship, I would assume, over the summer, GSOC, right?
Yeah, I'm doing other projects like side by side, but there's no proper internship. I just doing projects on my own. The main thing I was like targeting for me is, first I wanted to learn to like do all the development, like all the web dev. I wanted to learn it all. Then I wanted to like start like getting hired, or like start asking founders about to get hired.
Got it. Got it. That makes a lot of sense. Where do you think your skill is currently at when it comes to, let's say, the Mun stack or whatever is your popular stack right now?
One stack is like I've done all of those very like early on. I'm like focusing on more advanced stuff like uh, cloud and DevOps, and I was targeting that more instead of like front end part.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. Do you have a popular, some PR that you're proud of that you'd like to show, and how you made it? How did you think of solving the problem that you can show right now by sharing your screen?
Sure, let me search from my PRs. Okay, so what this PR does was there was a like a issue of the app being too huge of a size. Yeah. So what I did was I added a Webpack bundler to this PR. What it did was it took all the like front end files and like bundled it using Webpack, and then packaged it into the executable, the binaries. So this is the PR. First, it takes the uh, first it finds the HTML file. Then it uses regex to like take out all the scripts which was imported in the HTML file, all the JavaScript file. And if it did not belong to a like a online thing that was being pulled, it would like then take it and then compress it using Webpack over here. So this is and then it would bundle the app after compressing the file. So right now it was just taking the whole JavaScript file without any compression and just bundling it into the executable. So this is what it did.
Super cool. Amazing pull request to show, very clean and concise. So this was if I create a website and then I want to bundle it into a native application, now you compress the JavaScript files that I've written. Is that it?
Yes. Before like converting into a executable, you compress the files.
Amazing, makes sense. Yeah, man, this is great, super helpful. That's all the questions I had. So, what's your background, name, college, year, sab bata do.
My name is Rudra, and I am currently pursuing computer science degree from IIT Mandi. And I'm unsure about my current academic year, as I just finished giving my second year exams right now, a few weeks ago.
Okay, so between the second and your third year.
When
did you start to write code for the first time?
I started coding in my second semester, focusing mainly on DS Algo. I started coding in language C++. I solved DSA questions on various coding platforms like LeetCode and GFG for few months, and then jumped into development with your code 2 in December.
Amazing. So before cohort, you'd only done DSA?
Yes, sir.
Oh, super interesting. So that you have had a sprint journey then after cohort 2, considering code started in December and GSOC happened in March. So would love to know, what did you do? What was your schedule in these 4 months?
In this 4 months, actually, the organization which I was targeting was nothing to do with web development.
Oh.
And I don't have any knowledge about that organization before, what tech stack they use. Then I directly mailed the project maintainer and asked how could I start contributing in their project. They replied, and they sort of give me an assignment to build their project locally in my system, and that was a very tedious task for me. It took me about probably more than a month to build their project locally. The issue was in their code itself, and that was a problem. I was unable to build their project. Then after I have successfully built their project, then I start implementing some new features in their various projects.
Got it. So you mentioned it's not a web application. So could you explain a bit, what organization is it? What's your project?
My project is about containerizing various desktop apps of Linux Foundation, which include cups and many printer apps. Basically, these are printing stacks. I need to containerize this. Also, I am not using Docker to containerize them. I am using Rockcraft, which is something built on top of Docker only.
Got it. Makes sense.
Rockcraft does extract that 2-step build process of Docker.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. And how many contributions did you make? Did you make any contributions before getting in?
Yes, I made a lot of contribution actually. I think more than 20 PRs was merged before I actually submitted my proposal, and that's when I was sure that I will be selected.
20 is great. Do you have any PR that you're proud of that you would like to show everyone and show how you approach the problem and how you solved it?
I can show, but the problem is that is nothing to do with web development.
That's fine. Totally fine.
I have a PR which is basically a CI/CD pipeline, which uses Python language to automate automatic versioning of any snaps with Ubuntu uses.
Okay.
If you know Ubuntu install their desktop apps using snaps. That was my major PR, which include more than 450 lines of code.
Oh wow! Could you show that? Do you have that PR? How do they maintain? Is it on GitHub?
I have GitHub. Let me open it.
Amazing. So your organization lets you open like operating system inside containers. Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Oh wow, that's okay. Nice. So on my Mac machine, can I open an Ubuntu VM using your software?
Using Rockcraft, it will not work. Rockcraft is built basically for the Ubuntu's operating system, not for Mac.
Got it. So on Ubuntu, can I start another OS though?
Rockcraft does thing just like Dogger, but it does in more optimized manner.
Okay. So
That's only
what's the organization you're part of? Is it Rock?
Linux Foundation.
Oh, it's the Linux Foundation. Got it. Okay.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Right now, sir, I am not finding the PR.
That's fine. Do you have a different one that you can show? We only have like 2 more minutes before I open it up for questions.
So this is the PR which I was talking about. I got many changes by the maintainer. He suggested many changes, and I followed that.
Nice. Can you take us briefly through the code and what changes you made? Maybe before that, can you go to the description and just show everyone what exactly this does?
In description, basically this was the feature implementation of auto snap versioning, which automatically assigns a version to any desktop snap if there is any change in its dependencies.
Could you elaborate a little more on that?
For example,
so Snap is a package manager, right? You can use it to install other software.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. And now, what exactly does auto snap version featuring do?
It automatically assigns a version to the apps. Whenever there is a change in any upstream GitHub repository or in their any dependencies, then it assigns automatic version.
Got it.
If I can, so let me show you.
Yeah.
In this section, this is their app store. There this thing which says latest is and 2.4.8.1. This is automatic.
Got it.
This comes from automatic, and this is my work.
Oh, so you're saying, is this a website or is this, what is this?
This is an app store for Ubuntu. It is a website.
Oh, got it. It's a website, an app store for Ubuntu. And you're saying the version that comes over here, 2.4.
Yes, sir. That is automatic, and that is my work.
Got it. Now can you show us the PR?
Like here is the PR. Let me go through the code which I have seen. And this is basic dependencies.
No. I don't see the. I still see the other.
Oh.
There we go. Yeah, I see it now. Oh,
so here I have just added some examples so that you just know how to implement this.
Okay.
Let me go through the actual code which do this thing. Here it is. In this section, from the tag of any GitHub repository, it extract that tag. Okay, and after extracting that tag, it extract the version from that tag only. If you know Git repository, they have Git tags.
Yep. So if there's a tag associated to a commit, it extracts it from there.
It extracts version from that tag only. And here is basically all the snaps contains a snapcrap.yaml file where they define all their dependencies and what other tech stack they are using. And in that snapcrap.yaml, I'm changing the version of Snap.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. Interesting. And all of this code is in Python. Most of this code is in Python, is it?
Yes, sir.
Got it.
All code is Python.
Got it. Makes sense. Cool, man. What else? If someone wants to get into the Linux Foundation, what do you think is a good project for them to pick up or a good repo for them to look at?
They can look up into open printing. Their Linux Foundation have many organizations under them. One of them is open printing. If I would say if Linux Foundation received 21 slots this year, then 13 of them were of Linux open printing. Then there is major chance if you are selecting open printing as your sub organization.
Got it.
And my sub organization was also open printing.
Cool, man. That's all the questions I had. Do you have any questions for me?
Can I ask personal questions?
Yeah, ask no.
So actually, I am targeting internship in August from my college. Then what should I do in next 2 months?
What kind of internships are you looking for? Remote, Google, Fang?
In Fang.
Fang, DSA. You do DSA, you find a referral if possible. You're in second year. You're about to go in third year, which means you have a year in which most probably you'll get a referral from someone. Yeah, just make sure your DSA is top notch. Do not worry about development at all if you want to get into a Fang. Does Fang come on campus for interns for you?
Yes, sir.
So bro, don't even think twice.
They do
Just
come.
DSA all the way. Fuck GSOC. Development short though for the next few months, and then you completely focus on DSA if that's what you're looking for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Anything else?
No, thank you.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day, man. Nice to meet you. Can you give a brief background about yourself, your college, your year, and a brief about if you've done any internships in the past, things like these.
So yeah, I am Paras Avasti. I'm from NIT Warangal. I'm doing metallurgy. I'm from metallurgy department, and I'm in my third year of college. So the coding, since I'm not from CS background, I started doing coding in first year. I started doing C++ and all. There was a time when you started, like when you came in YouTube, you was like so highlighted. So I was like, I started following you. I luckily found this cohort, and like then when I found the cohort, I joined the cohort, and like in the cohort you were saying like there was a thing you said that you can get the best out of this cohort if you do GSOC. So I was like, okay, what is this? Okay, I want to see this. So like this is how I got to know about GSOC, and I like started doing GSOC.
Oh wow, amazing. You are in 1 or 2?
Cohort? 1 or 2?
Cohort 1 or cohort 2?
I'm from 0 to 100.
Oh, got it. So cohort 2, got it. Makes sense.
Cohort 2.
All right. So does that mean you got to know about GSOC in December?
Yeah, like I used to watch your videos, but like the proper like when it was like I'm following you so much, so I was like, okay, you are saying like, okay, this is a thing like benchmark, I have to do it. So like when you said like that, then I was like, yeah, I'll do it.
Okay, makes sense. That's amazing. So what was your dev? You said you did a bunch of C++ in first year. After that, just take us through your journey of what all coding did you do in college, considering you're from metallurgy.
Mm-hmm. So first year I started with basic C++, and then I made C++ very good. Like I focused so much on like solving questions on my own. But then in second semester I didn't code it that much. But eventually with time I started coding again, and I did DSA, which eventually everyone in IITs do. So then after a time when I was like, okay, DSA is going good, I was not getting some internship from my college on campus because I am from metallurgy department, so they were like not shortlisting me at all. So then I found out that okay, development is a good profile to start working on. So I started working on like HTML, CSS was very basic thing, so not count. But then I started JavaScript. Then I worked on JavaScript, React, and the overall things, Express, Mern. After that, I got to know from you that okay, we should dive a little more deeper and like skill up more. So I started doing TypeScript, and then all of the things whichever you like, whatever you say, I just copy it and like I blindly follow it. That's it.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. Amazing, dude. And so, what's your organization? What was your proposal like? How many contributions did you make?
Okay, so this is the thing. Like I have got my proposal selected from Chromium. So it's like a big organization, and I'm working with like TypeScript only. The project is in TypeScript mostly. So yeah, what I have found is like I was searching for GSOC organizations. I did a lot of research. I contributed on lots of like small contributions. At least I tried to contribute. I didn't had that much time. So I found that this Chromium is like big organization, right? So when you go to the big organization, then the competition is comparatively less. But
Correct.
when you are at the like I used to contribute in Palisada's foundation, so it was like so difficult. There were so many people, like there was no time. Someone pick the issue and start solving it. So yeah, so big organization, it's like little less competitive.
Makes sense. And Chromium, I would assume even I would back off from it because most of the code is in C. Were you able to make any contributions?
Yeah, contributions, I was like, it was like very 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 like overwhelming for me at the starting. I was like, what is happening? I was not expecting to like keep going for Chromium, but the competition thing, so I was like, if I have to make it into it because I started late, so I will have to choose this only. So I tried it. I tried a lot, slowly. People from the cohort, I asked for help like sometimes in meets or something. So like yeah, it worked. It's not that difficult actually. Like there are mentors, there are people, Chat GPT is there, and then like I've learned this thing from you, like from the cohort. What the best thing I've learned from you is the way you approach learning. So what I used to learn is I was like, okay, Mon stack developer, this developer, that developer. But what I've learned from you is okay, learn something, but learn it like okay, how it is working. Like in the cohort, you explain like the smallest functioning of what the things is happening. So that thing made me like very strong foundation concept. So it helped a lot.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Uh,
Interesting. And so in Chromium, were you able to make any contributions before you got in
yeah,
finally?
yeah. Actually, in starting, I was not able to make contributions. I made two contributions, very, very, very small contributions. They were like literally like just CSS, changing colors and all. That's it. And it was also like very difficult for me because finding the file in which I have to fix that changes was like very difficult. But with time, I got confident and like yeah. Then I made around 6 to 7 contributions before getting my proposal getting selected.
Got it. And this was all in Chromium or some subsidiary project repo?
No, no, Chromium 6 7 contributions. Other I have done 4 5 more, like in another other organization. But major contributions were in Chromium only.
All right. So my next question to you is, were you able to ever set up Chromium locally on your machine?
Yeah, it was also very challenging because like setting up Chromium.
Yeah.
Luckily, like the laptop which I have got is like have a good specifications. It is like 16 GB RAM and like i5 processor, so it is manageable. It is good enough. But it was very difficult. It took me like I think 2 to 3 days just like running the process, getting stuck in between, then restarting the whole process, and it was like going on. So yeah, but it was like good experience.
Super cool. I've tried it once. It's really hard. You should come on the channel and just explain everyone how can you set up Chromium on a machine.
Yeah, sure,
And
sure.
it was an
I'll,
interesting video.
yeah.
So explain your project a bit. You said it's in TypeScript. So what's your project?
Yeah, so actually, do you use that bookmarks? Which
Yep.
there is this bookmarks in Google Chrome, right? So what I'm gonna do is the bookmarks. It is like a normal view. So it is like this is like the bookmark list of bookmarks. You can dive in, like click on that, enter into that. We are gonna change it to a tree view. So like it will be like opening it. Like if you click on that, it will like it will open up, and then there will be folders open up or open up. Like in the VS Code, we have this in the left side, the way we manage folders. So yeah, I'm gonna change it to that.
So whenever you're bookmarking, you can structure it well in folders, something like that.
Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Got
like
it.
easy. It was already there in like before some updates, but in the ancient Chrome, but now it's not there. So we are bringing it back with some more functionalities. Yeah.
Super interesting. So do you work with like folks who currently work at Google? Is Chromium maintained by Google folks or like some open
Yeah,
organization?
yeah, it is maintained by Google. So I'm working with the people, like all of the teams which I'm working with, they are all from Google, working for more than 10 years or something. And but the thing is, Chromium is like sub branch of Google. I think like they shift left, so that they are permanently working for Chromium only right now. I think Chromium do not just only works for Chrome. It is like the skeleton for many other browsers, something like that.
Yeah, I think Edge now uses Chromium under the hood. A lot of them do. Even Brave uses some version of Chromium only.
Yeah.
Super interesting, man. How many people does Chromium take every year?
So this year Chromium has taken 16 people.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. It is growing. This is also what I observed from like I did a lot of research while searching for the organizations. This is what I found that Chromium just now started game like 3 years. I think it's been 3 years. Chromium coming to GSOC, and the number of people they are taking was growing. So yeah, there was 16 people. So yeah, there is a lot.
Amazing. And like, are most of these projects in C and like?
So the larger projects are in C, C++. My part also like it's not completely TypeScript. So it's not like React. These all things are not there. It's like we work in like very scratch. We work from scratch. So it's like little of C++, Polymer, Shadow DOM, and like stuff like that. So yeah, mine is I think the easiest one among the all Chromium projects. So
Got it.
like there are like people who are working for very difficult things. I'm like I talk to them. They are all like from different countries. So like they are like super genius and like doing masters and all in different countries. Yeah,
Got it.
good
So
experience.
yeah, man, this sounds like a great experience. The thing is, GSOC gives some people something, money, whatever. A lot of times people just build kiddie projects and like sometimes it doesn't even go into production. But in your case, you can, other than the money that you're getting, you can extract a lot of value, be it referral
Yeah.
at Google, Chromium, or just work here full time, or the kind of, not a lot of people get to work on Chromium. If you're good at Chromium, you can, get into a lot of companies
Hmm.
based on just the experience. A lot of browser companies, other companies that require low level stuff. So, I would use this opportunity very heavily to network and learn a lot over the next 2-3 months.
Okay, sure. I'll
Yeah.
try that my best.
Cool. That's all the questions I had. So, Praful, do you mind introducing yourself?
Yep. So I'm Praful Sharma, currently a pre-final student at IIIT Ranchi. So I started coding last year from my second year summer vacation. I picked Django since I had knowledge about Python. Also because I don't wanted to follow the crowd and do JS. But eventually I noticed that I have to do it. There is no way I can leave out JavaScript and TypeScript. So yep, I have learned those. And
All right. And so, what's your primary stack right now? You mentioned you started with Django, but what all do you know now?
yep, so my primary stack still is Django. I use Python only. So I have been doing internships and like contributed to GSOC using Django and Python only. I am also using TypeScript and JavaScript in intern, but still the I would say like I am best at Python frameworks.
Amazing. Would love to know, where did you learn Django from? Was it building a lot of projects yourself? Did you refer to some videos?
So initially it was from YouTube. So we have uh, old like 6-year-old playlist from Corey. Like he's a YouTuber. So he makes videos about Python, Fast API, Flask, etc. So I started from there. Then I picked up from the book. I would say the books were way better than following the tutorials because they were much better, like much depth, much clarity. Also, there is a Django server in Discord, which is very, very helpful. Like even if you have a single doubt, they will solve it. They were very helpful. So that's the biggest role I think. The community helped me a lot to learn. Also the projects, and initially like when I was learning, I got an intern after like 2 months. That was unpaid intern. I just took that for like getting skills. So that was also a main factor that I could like get to know how the code is written in the industry. So yeah, then slowly, steadily, I learned it, and now we're here.
Amazing. And so, what organization are you part of, and how many contributions did you make before getting in?
Okay, so I am in Open Healthcare. It is an organization which mainly deals with like creating tele ICUs for like medical and healthcare services. So initially, when it is a new organization, it is listed in 2024 for the first time.
Oh, wow.
So yep, I started contributing on the very next day when the list was out. It was like 10, 11:30 p.m. I got to know the list is out. I like skimmed through the list, found the organization, saw the like it is using Django, then started checking that like code bases out. It was like I was familiar with like it was not much stuff, so I just put it on local machine and started with a good first issue. The community helped me and the mentor were very helpful, so I was like I started contributing a lot. Like it was like I wake up in the morning, I started contributing, and at the night I was still contributing. Like I had like I like for 10 hours I was contributing for the first 5 6 7 days to make an impact. So that was very helpful for me, and that did help. So I would say I made few like 5 PRs. Three were very big, and after the application period, I still was contributing till 27th of April. So I was mainly working on test cases to like show them that yes, I can write test cases. So yep, I'm credible.
Nice. That's super cool. And what's your current project that you're working on?
So this project mainly involves generating discharge reports. So I have to optimize the discharge report generation. So it is basically the previous stack was using Chromium. Like we have to like we were using a HTML rendering it on the Chrome and then taking a PDF out of it. So it was very inefficient. So what I am doing right now, I am using a tool called Typed, which is much similar to LaTeX. So I'm using that and generating PDFs now. So the generation time have decreased to like 15 16 times, and the build that was initially due to Chromium was about 1.5 GBs, it have reduced to like 1.2. And also the memory usage have also come down. So I had to present that in benchmark to make my proposal more solid. That really helped me out.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. And so, most of your project, I would assume, is in Python and Django.
Yep, Python Django Fast API.
Got it. Makes sense. So you mentioned this was a new organization. You still made 5 pull requests. Do you think you got in based on the PRs, or do you think your proposal slash, talking to the mentors also helped?
I would say both. Like there were few people who were very active but hadn't had create much bigger PR, like had like was creating 1 line, 2 line project. So I my PRs were mostly related. First was the good first issue. That helped me understand the code base. Then there were migration, like data migration, Django have migration, so I have to create custom migrations. Create. So they were pretty big PRs. So yep, so that also, since it is a big PR, I have to talk a lot to the mentors. So that helped me interact with the mentor more, and that like the through and forth of like conversation helped me make an impact on the mentor that yep, I am capable and I can do what I will be showing in my proposal. Also the mentor always help us to create our proposal, like always help us to redefine our proposal. So proposal will be, I will say, secondary thing. The main thing will be PR. Primary thing, you have to create good PRs, and proposal will be, I will say, after you have made an impact to the mentors, the proposal doesn't hold much value.
Got it. Makes sense. So you mentioned you were very active with the maintainers, primarily because you were working on big issues, and so there was a lot of back and forth. Do you think it would have been the same if you were working on small issues and still asking them / pinging them from time to time? Do you think they respected you more because you were picking up these big issues?
Yep, I would say like there I was doing. I would say yep. So that made an impact. Like it made me more credible. Like if I'm doing like one line change, I'm just changing a few lines and doing raising a PR and telling them I did this, I did it. It will like they won't think of me of much. Like but if I'm creating like big PRs and like it was like 15, 20 and like 150 200 lines of code for the migration itself, and like having to update the JSON and look. So one of my PR right now, I had to update JSON file in it. So the static file I updated, so it had like over a 1 million line of changes. So I will be like recognized when someone will see top contributor, my name should be seen there.
That's funny. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah. It seems like you were able to dive right into the code because you were really good at Django and you've been doing it for the past 1 year or so. Is that correct?
I wouldn't say I'm really good. I would say like I'm average. Like I'm not very good.
Got it.
If you, yeah. So I would say like contributing to a framework like Django is much tougher than contributing to an organization that is built on top of it, like Django. So my organization work in Django. So I have also worked in Django. So that's simple. But when you start contributing to organization like Django, it's much complex. So I was trying to contribute like to Django. I went to and seen their code bases. There were few things that even the Python syntax didn't seem familiar there. So it was really tough. But once you get a hang of it, you can do it. So you have to start contributing to Django, like a big framework like Django. You have to start early, like a month or two earlier, so that you can understand the code base better.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Cool, man. That's all the questions I had. So hey, Shayan, could you introduce yourself?
My name is Shayan Banerjee. I am from National Institute of Technology, Durgapur, NIT Durgapur, studying BTech Computer Science Engineering. And I have cracked GSOC this year under Rocket Chat organization under the project Guided Tours, guided graphical guided tours. That's my project which I will be working on.
Amazing. When did you start to code?
I started to code after my JEE. I'm a dropper. And actually, I mean, the coding journey started back in the school where it was Java because I'm from ICSC board, so it's Java. But it was very little things were taught there. Actual journey started after my drop year, after the JEE was done, and I got my 99 percentile. I was happy after that, and I started coding, and that's how things started.
Got it. So what was your primary tech stack? What do you usually code in? Do you do DSA? Do you do web development, app development?
Okay, my primary tech stack is MERN stack. I do web development and I do DSA. I do DSA a lot, and it's in C++.
Got it. Makes a lot of sense. Interesting. And you said you're in your second year, so that's pretty early for you to crack GSOC. Could you share when did you start contributing? How many proposals did you make? How many contributions did you make? Sorry.
Yes, sir. So absolutely. I just started contributing back in. I remember my first PR got merged in 7 December 2023. So okay, and that's how I started contributing. It was a very struggling period because I wanted to crack GSOC, but I couldn't even set up the project. I was searching for organizations. I searched here and there, but after that what I did was that I saw that Rocket Chat text stack matched mine. It was written in JavaScript and TypeScript. I knew that. And why not to deep dive into it rather than exploring other tech stack like Python and all? So I just deep dive into it. Contacted a mentor, not a mentor that time. It was Aditya Singh. He was also in your podcast last year, if you remember.
Right, right.
And yes, I contacted him. I contacted him before your podcast. Like it was through the Rocket Chat Gmail, Rocket Chat organization GitHub page. I found that LinkedIn and I contacted him. I asked him how can I set up the project, how should I approach the code base. He told me do this, do that, and it took me 3 days. I remember it took me 3 days to even set up the project, and I started contributing. I did one PR. It got merged in 7 December after I think a week. But by 1st January, I had 8 pull requests merged, 2 pull requests which were left to be merged. I mean, they were in open state. And the whole January, there is a Rocket Chat, there is a leaderboard also. Like they maintain a leaderboard who is on the top. In the whole January period, I was number one there, whole around the world, I think. Because contributors are around the world. So,
Yeah.
but after that, there was academic challenges. I couldn't focus that much. So I just fell to number four. I am currently number four right now. So that's how things went. That's the
awesome.
whole story.
That is super cool. So Rocket Chat is an extremely competitive organization, right? A lot of people are contributing there.
Yes, sir. It's very competitive. I can tell you that it's competitive.
Are you the reason for the competition? You were 14. That's so it's like very hard to even find an issue. Someone else picks it up. So would love to know what was your approach? How were you finding so many issues and fixing them so quickly?
Sir, I mean, the whole thing was that I used to go to the issues page. There are many issues. I see them. Can I solve it? Because in Rocket Chat, the backend part, I was not understanding it initially. Now I understand it. Not ultimately, but still decent much. But on the front end part, since every change is like commenting out a part, I can see the reflection of it or what actually broke the GUI. So I was mostly focusing on the front end part. And then what I used to do, I go to the issues page. I used to go to all the issues. Like I visited issues from 3 to 5 years before also. All the issues I go there, can I do it or can't I do it? In my free time, I used to figure it out because by seeing it, if you know the code base decently, if you study the code base, you can understand it if it can be done by you or not. So I used to go there. I used to in my free time, I used to figure out 3 to 5 issues, write it down, write the link in my WhatsApp or something, and used to sit there. And until I fix one issue, I won't pick up. I won't go. And yeah, that's how things went. That's how my December went because my third semester ended on December. So I had that one, not December, sorry, on November. I had my whole December empty, nothing to do. So I did this.
Amazing.
And that's how things
How many hours were you contributing in December?
To be honest, the full day because complete day because I mean many people can do it quickly, and I was not among that quick thing. I was very slow. I need to understand. Maybe because Rocket Chat code base is so complex, it's just I just couldn't even understand from which component is getting called. From here I need to learn other debugging tools also. Like in the Chrome, I just realized there is a debugger option also, and from there you can see the values. All those kinds of things I used to also draw also from which component is getting called, how the values are changing. And after that, after you spend like whole day, you just realize you needed to do this little, I mean 2 to 3 pieces of changes, and things work. That's how things went there.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Maybe that answers the question. Maybe I deviated a little more.
No, that answers pretty well. And then January, May, your college started. So were you also actively contributing after that until March, April?
Like I had 8 PRs merged, and after that I had 2 PRs merged, so total 10.
Got it.
But since after that there was not so much time, I was not able to contribute that much directly to the code base, but to the community. Like Rocket Chat is a chat app, so I used to talk to my mentors, the other PRs, help them out. Like many random people used to text me or call me that there is this issue. How should I fix it? And I used to solve it. I used to tell them. I used to tell them about if you can't set it up locally, use Docker, and that's how things went. Not directly to the code base, but to the community because community is important, I guess.
Makes a lot of sense. And if someone wants to contribute to Rocket Chat, how many people were into Rocket Chat this year?
This year there are 17 people which entered Rocket Chat.
Got it. So it's a pretty big organization, which means, gets a lot of students, but it's also a lot of competition. So what would be your advice to, come to the top of the contributors chart for someone who's just starting out?
Okay, so even if you're not on top of the contributors chart, you will make it. But it just increases your chances. Like being on top increases your chances. And my advice will be to keep a good, have a healthy relation with the mentors. Just keep them talking to them directly, ask for them with to the peers also, and to contribute regularly. It means you should go to the code base even if you're not getting an issue. Just keep the code base open, try to understand this, that, and those. If you are really interested in contributing, then you must do these things regularly. And in the issues section also, there will be newcomers who will be asking that silly questions. Silly, I won't say silly because it's a newcomer. It's a new, they don't know it. You must answer them. Like in the whole December period, my answers were there flooded with the Rocket Chat GitHub. So yes, that's how I will recommend some newcomer. Hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it's perfect. Do you have so NIT Durgapur, you said, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Is that a
NIT.
tier 1 college or tier 2 NIT?
It's a tier 1.5, you can call.
Okay. Tier 1.5. So, do you have great peers? You said you're in computer science. I would assume, you have good peers. So, what's the importance of finding peers locally in your college? Or did you find communities, people outside your college that, you're close with right now?
What actually challenge I faced in my college is that most of the people are academically motivated. I mean, they want to get the great CGPA, but not into the greatest tech stack, and not into. I mean, they don't want to explore. I found it that, and I find it this common in other colleges also. So peer wise, I didn't found much. Yes, I have peers who are also. I mean, they also doing great and they want to do great also. But in Rocket Share and open source contribution, I was solo. There was no one to do. I did it all by myself.
Got it. And do you have generally a peer group that you talk tech about?
Yes, yes, obviously, yes. That's mandatory. I have some people, 3 to 4 people. We generally share. Mostly those discussions are about CP. I mean, computer programming, DSA, this kind of stuff, or like hackathons, which is coming up. Those are the general discussions which I generally have.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. Cool, man. That's all I had. Thank you so much. So, hey, Mintu, could you introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, my name is Mintu Goy, currently a second year student at IIT Bechu. My degree is mechanical, but I am doing coding, so that's a bit odd. That's all.
All right. When did you start to code, considering you're in mechanical?
I would say second year. मतलब first year से मैं थोड़ा DSA करने चालू कर दिया था थोड़ा, but development stuff I have started from second year.
Got
Second
it.
year or mid second semester के बाद मान लो.
Got it. And what did you start doing development in?
I have started with web development and currently learning backend stuff mostly with Go.
Got it. Makes sense. What is your organization that you got in? And
Async API.
Async, अरे लॉर्ड है तो इस पे तो मैं क्रेडिट ले लूँगा. Did you see the videos? Async.
Yes, you have contributed to CLI, right?
Yes. What did you contribute to?
I have contributed to most of the project. Mainly I have contributed. ऐसा fixated नहीं था कि एक में ही था. मैंने बहुत ज़्यादातर मैं contribute किया है उसके org में.
Got it. So you contribute to most repos there. What is your final GSOC project?
It is Async API generator. It is interesting project. So the project is to become the maintainer of the repo.
The project.
Yes.
So you will maintain that specific repository. It's coming from scratch.
generator repo. Yes.
Got it. And what does the generator repo do?
Generator is basically template generator. मतलब sort of event-driven architecture की तरह.
बताओ.
So there is many generator like many template generator like HTML template generator, React generator. So मतलब generator repo holds the core of it. There is side repo of it like HTML template renderer, React renderer, and many renderer. But generator repo holds the core of the uh, generator.
Okay, so async API is a spec, right? It's basically a file where you can
Yes.
write what your backend looks like, GraphQL looks like, things like these.
Yes, more similar to OpenAPI.
Very similar to OpenAPI. So what is the generator? Does it let you generate clients from on top of this specific API spec file? What does the generator do?
What do you mean clients?
Oh, clients. Okay, never mind. If you don't understand, that probably does not create clients. Clients basically mean that Java automatically generated JavaScript code.
Yes, it's that only.
Oh, it's that only. Okay, cool. So you have the file and you can automatically generate Golang code, JavaScript code.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
ठीक है. तो this तो I'm assuming would have already been there. या तुम आके बना रहे हो ये अभी?
नहीं ये ऑलरेडी था.
Okay.
मतलब अब मेंटेनर की कमी हो रही थी तो उन लोग ने ये प्रोजेक्ट डाला था.
Oh, so you just have to come and maintain it. तुम्हें कुछ प्रोजेक्ट नहीं है तुम्हारा, तुम्हें बस ध्यान रखना है उसका.
Yes, बस ऐसा गाइड कर रहा है कि कैसे मतलब ओपन सोर्स काम करता है.
बढ़िया.
ये सब.
तुम्हारी तो सरकारी नौकरी है, मतलब तुम्हें बैठ के कुछ कोड नहीं करना है, तुम्हें बस लोगों को वो करना है.
हाँ, बोल सकते हो आप ऐसे.
कोई फीचर नहीं है जो तुम काम कर रहे हो, तुम्हें कोड कंट्रीब्यूशन एक्सपेक्टेड नहीं है तुमसे.
मतलब वही है कि मतलब मेंटेनर कैसे वर्क करता है. बस एसिंक एपीआई का थोड़ा CI/CD कॉम्प्लेक्स है. मतलब वो समझ अब तो वही समझा रहा है. मतलब एक सेंट्रल CI/CD पाइपलाइन है और वो ग्लोबल रिपो में अलग काम करते हैं और मतलब क्या था जनरेटर के लिए अलग काम करते हैं. तो बस मतलब बेसिक काम चीज ही सिखा रहा है.
गॉट. तुम्हारा छोटा मोटा काम है, भी बढ़िया है भाई, बहुत बढ़िया. हाउ मेनी पीपल एट एसिंक एपीआई टेक दिस ईयर?
मतलब एसिंक एपीआई काम ऐसे अम्ब्रेला ऑर्ग ऑफ पोस्टमैन. आई थिंक यू नो दैट राइट. तो पर इस बार एसिंक एपीआई भी खुद से भी आया था. तो एसिंक एपीआई खुद से 3 लिया है और पोस्टमैन से आई गेस 4 या 5 लिया था. तो टोटल 8 या 9.
89. गॉट इट. एंड एसिंक एपीआई भी तो बहुत कंपटीशन होगा ना, कि नहीं था?
नहीं, मेरे ख्याल से तो बहुत कम था.
अच्छा, इंटरेस्टिंग. दैट साउंड्स प्रीटी गुड. तो तुमने कितनी कंट्रीब्यूशंस की थी ज्वाइन करने से पहले?
7-8 पेयर्स.
7-8 पेयर्स. वाओ. इन लाइक अ बंच ऑफ रिपोजिटरीज.
यस.
दिखाओ कोई बढ़िया सी कंट्रीब्यूशन तुम्हारी जो तुम्हें सही लगी हो कि हाँ इसके बेसिस पे मेरा हो गया.
मैं एक दिखा रहा हूँ. तो मैंने अभी 2 रिपो में काम कर रहा हूँ. एक तो है कि ओपन एपीआई 3 मतलब कन्वर्टर जेस का एक रिपो है जो ओपन स्पेक को एसिंक एपीआई के स्पेक में कन्वर्ट करेगा. तो उसमें तो
कोई जो तुमने पीआर मारी हो पहले बिफोर यू गॉट इन दैट यू थिंक इज अ बिग.
अच्छा, बिफोर यू गॉट इन. मतलब ये तो तब से ही अब तक चालू हुआ था. मतलब तब से ही अब ये अच्छा एक प्यार था तो तब से ही अब तक है. ये बेसिकली मतलब एक स्कीमा बना सकते हो अपने आप. मतलब एक
स्कीमा यू कैन क्रिएट एन एसिंक एपीआई
स्कीमा
स्पेक फाइल.
मतलब फ्रॉम विजुअली राइट.
ओह विजुअली, कैन यू शो लाइक कैसे दिखता है फाइनल प्रोडक्ट?
यस. डिप्लॉय लिंक से मैं दिखा देता हूँ. So like this is an example schema. Like here you can create. So let's say we need to create
this is the final spec file.
yes. अभी इस पे काम बाकी है कोड एडिटर और एग्जांपल के बीच में.
वेरी कूल.
अभी तो यही बना है.
मेक सेंस. इसका कोड दिखाओ. मोस्टली आई वुड अज्यूम रिएक्ट कोड,
बेसिक रिएक्ट कोड. और एक HTML टेम्पलेट का भी मेरे पीआर था. वो अच्छा खासा था. मतलब वो ज्यादा रैंक का नहीं था, 5-4 लाइन का ही था, पर रिसर्च बहुत लगा था उस पे.
गॉट इट.
मतलब
मेक सेंस.
मतलब इसमें प्रॉब्लम क्या था कि जब npm से पैकेज हम लोग डाउनलोड करते थे तो टाइम बहुत लगता था क्योंकि ट्रांसपेरेंट डायरेक्टरी कैच नहीं करता था. तो मेरे को ढूंढना था कि ट्रांसपेरेंट डायरेक्टरी क्यों नहीं कैच कर रहा था. मतलब डायरेक्टरी. तो इसमें थोड़ा टाइम लगा और ये अच्छा था यार. मतलब मेरे ख्याल से एक अच्छा बिहार था ये. हाँ, मतलब ये पहले तो मैंने ढूंढने में बहुत टाइम लगा कि ट्रांसपेरेंट डायरेक्टरी कहाँ और कैसे. मतलब जब मैं डाउनलोड करता हूँ ये npm रिपो तो ट्रांसपेरेंट डायरेक्टरी कहाँ से आता है ये ढूंढने में मेरे को बहुत टाइम लगा. फिर उसके बाद मैंने ढूंढा और फिर बस कॉपी एंड पेस्ट किया ट्रांसपेरेंट डायरेक्टरी को इधर से. फिर npm प्री पब्लिश में मैंने मतलब क्या बोलते हैं उसको पब्लिश कर दिया.
गॉट इट.
तो ये तो टाइम बहुत कम कर दिया था इसने.
मेक सेंस. वेरी कूल. सही है भाई, बढ़िया है. Thank you so much for
Okay.
coming. Do you have any questions for me? We have 4 more minutes.
Yeah, sure. So I mean, a few of my questions were essentially, you talk about how, you have to showcase your work for people to like for you to get jobs and stuff. So, and when it's not front end heavy, how exactly do you showcase, like let's say cloud development or, Dockerize, DevOps and ML in the same. ML, I think you can, but DevOps and cloud specifically.
Yeah, DevOps is a little tricky. Generally, though, when I say showcase, I don't really mean tweet out you've made something. I usually just mean you've contributed somewhere and everyone can look at it. So I think the answer remains the same if you're contributing in a DevOps heavy project, if you're contributing to Kubernetes, or if you're adding a Docker file to whatever an open source project. It's out there. That's what I mean by showcasing. A lot of people say you tweet out, it helps. I don't think that's necessarily true. So yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Okay, and what platforms do you think are right now like, the best to get like a remote job from the US?
Platforms are tricky. I can tell you TopTal is great. It's very hard to get in. Their interview process is very grueling. They restarted taking people now. So I'm happy to refer you. But
Sure.
DSA heavy. So the DSA is like extremely heavy. You can't give it twice. So make sure you're ready. And whenever you are, let me know. TopTal is great. Until $100 an hour, $80 an hour, $100 an hour. Uske baad to bhai, you have to be really good at something, and job portals will get you in. For example, what was your organization? It was an ML heavy organization.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah, it is.
so once you've done with your GSOC and if you have some research paper to show or whatever work, if it's like extremely good, most probably it'll be easy for you to get in like a 100K offer in a startup by applying. A lot of companies, mostly AI companies in YC batches, mostly AI companies getting funded right now. So you are well positioned compared to other people who are doing just full stack. So just contribute. Apply at careers page of these startups, or just get in touch directly with the founders.
Okay, sure. I think that answers most of my questions. Also, in general, like so my plan is to do like a master's 1 or 2 years down the line. What do you think I should like? Which sort of offer should I be looking for? Would I look for like, like Google and those sort of companies, or should I look for, startups and showcase that okay, I've built this from the ground up? What do you think would be more helpful?
You probably want to go for research roles. So Adobe Research in India is fantastic. If you want to go for masters, if that is your end goal, would not go for a startup. If I go to Google, I would go in an ML team, and best case I would go to a research lab, or a prof, whatever, and then go for a master's.
Okay, sure.
What's
I
your
think
CGPA?
that's about it. My CGPA is around like 8.1.
Yeah, I would bump that up if you want to go for masters.
Yeah, that's the only thing. So like, I'm just hoping like I'll wait. Like that's the 2 year wait. I'm gonna like get some work experience as well too. Like and also like top my GREs.
Yeah, makes sense.
I think that's about it. It was great meeting you.
Likewise, dude. Have a great day, and wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You too. Bye bye.
Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, like I have seen that you are constantly learning new technology. So like, how do you know that which technology to pick next for? Like, how do you get to catch up with the trends before it is actually even a trend?
Yeah, I mean it's same as you, right? So you might have heard merge stack somewhere on YouTube or otherwise. I'm in groups which are more niche than this. So वहाँ पे बात हो रही होती है कि Zig is the new popular language that all the traders are using. I work in Web3, so a lot of people there, whatever people are talking about, I just learn about them. Getting into the ecosystem helps once you get a job, and if you get a job at like a big company, by big company I mean not like big tech, I mean like company with very smart engineers. So you just find whatever people are talking about and Google it. So
Yeah.
that's a brief.
Yeah. Okay. That was the only question I had. Like,
Cool, man. If you ever need anything, let me know. And yeah, have a good day. Thank you for joining.
yeah, sure. Thank you for inviting me.
For sure. Yeah.
Can I ask personal questions?
Yeah. Ask no.
So actually, I'm targeting internship in August from my college. Then what should I do in next 2 months?
What kind of internships are you looking for? Remote, Google, Fang?
In FANG.
Fang, DSA. You do DSA, you find a referral if possible. You're in second year. You're about to go in third year, which means you have a year in which most probably you'll get a referral from someone. Yeah, just make sure your DSA is top notch. Do not worry about development at all if you want to get into a Fang. Does Fang come on campus for interns for you?
Yes, sir.
So bro, don't even think twice.
They do come.
DSA all the way. Fuck GSOC. Development short though for the next few months, and then you completely focus on DSA if that's what you're looking for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Anything else?
No. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day, man. Nice to meet you. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, like it's similar to like what I was answering. So I still face difficulties in understanding big code bases like Django and like big code bases that are difficult to understand. So what will you suggest? Like how to approach those?
Yeah, if you want to like to literally contribute to Django, Express, Node.js, Bun, then it will be hard. It's like definitely not easy. I personally haven't done too much of low level. I've contributed to Chrome a little bit, but that's it. So there's like 0.01% of the people who can actually understand Django code. So don't feel overwhelmed that you're not able to understand it. Over there also, pick a small issue first. The woe remains the same, the star remains the same, but it is bound to be very difficult. So if you are thinking of doing that, just don't feel bad if you're not able to do it or not able to do it for a long time. A lot of people aren't able to do it. A lot of people don't even try doing it. Most people.
Yeah, like
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm doing it like I'm trying it from like past 2 weeks. I am still like doing. I'm like I raised a PR for a very easy pick question, so that would like maybe get merged like in few days. But for the bigger issues, I'm still not able to understand. And also they use like hard terms, like hard technical terms, which are tough to understand. So I have to always chat GPT it. What do they mean? Like tell me it's like simpler way what do they mean, and then I have to, like communicate with them.
That is so funny.
That
That is super funny. Yeah, man. I mean, the good thing is you will learn a lot if you're doing this. It's like all these jargons that they talk about randomly, if you keep contributing for like a few months, then at least you'll be well versed with all of these jargons. And yeah.
Yep. Okay, that all I wanted to ask.
All right. Cool, man. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, thank you for this opportunity.
For sure. Do you have any questions for me?
Actually, yeah, I had one question. So it's like there's tons of videos you have available in the internet about you guiding people. But like as I said, like I'm following you so much. Like the GSOC also came just because of you, because the line which you said, like the best you can get out of this cohort is get into GSOC. I was like, it just stuck in my mind. I was like, okay, this is the benchmark. I have to do it anyhow. So not generalizing anything, like for me, if can you like tell something like just one thing? Okay, this is the next target you can like work for,
Yeah. So for you, specifically for you,
like top tell or something. I cannot like know like what can be right for me right now. Like if you say something, I'll like just go for it.
yeah, I would do very well at GSOC and join Chromium as an engineer. That's the best thing you can do. I think it will be hard to say the least. I think most probably you have to understand C, C++ very well. But
Okay.
if you're an engineer at Chromium for a year, boy, your life is set. I don't think उसके बाद तुम्हें मतलब बहुत startups से तुम्हें ऐसे लेंगे. There are a lot of startups that are trying to create browsers. Arc is one company if you've heard of it. So
Okay.
you can always get into startups. But yeah, as I said, a lot of people do GSOC. जैसे मैंने बहुत लोगों से बात करी है, you're the only one who's doing it in एक बंदा Linux Foundation में कर रहा है, that's also pretty good. And for you also, you're doing it in Chromium. One, that's a great learning experience. Two, somewhere or the other, you can become a Google employee in a very good product. तो मैं तो यही करता भाई, तुम्हारी जगह होता तो कुछ भी करके Chromium में इंजीनियर बन जाता.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
तो इसमें अपना पूरा वो लगा देता हूँ focus.
That is much better than any other path you can take. कि तुम फैंग के थ्रू गूगल जाओ, उससे भी बेटर है. तुम टॉपटाल में जाओ, उससे भी बेहतर हो सकता है ये. You throughout you
Okay.
have the option of working in open source, have all of your work out there, and also it's like you will learn a lot if you start to build one of the most used like browsers in the world. So I would just you are very well positioned to do that.
Yeah, that's it. Just thank you so much for like doing whatever you are doing. It's like so helpful. I was like, I've grown like so much rapidly because of you. Like it's just so amazing to be in the cohort. Like I feel like that was the best decision I took in my life to like join the cohort. Like follow your channel. Like I am growing at like 10x speed in my college. I'm like I was no one and like everyone knows me now. So it's like great transition.
That's amazing, dude. How many people could get into GSOC from NITs or like NIT Varangal?
NIT. So it's like because CSE people always get internships from on-campus placement, so they did not try that much. So there are many people who are capable enough, but yeah, this year like I was the only one getting into GSOC from NIT Varangal.
Yeah, that's super cool. सही है भाई, मचाओ फिर तो तुम स्टड लॉन्डे हो गए एकदम कॉलेज के.
हाँ मतलब आपके कारण ही.
ठीक है भाई. सही है. Thank you, bro. I think that's all I had. If you have anything else.
नहीं, thank you so much for having me.